Hello, my name's Alan Jeffrey and I'm the Technical Steering Committee Chair of the Servo Project. And I'm very pleased to join you today to talk about the Servo Project and our new life at the Linux Foundation. So, what is Servo? Well, Servo is a web engine, but that sort of begs the question of what one of those is. So, a web engine is the core of a web browser. It's the part that downloads content off of the internet and then renders it in the user view. So, web browsers are one of the places that you can use a web engine, but you might have some other application that's a game wanting a heads-up display, or a 3D experience that's wanting to include some video. So there are many cases in which you'd like to deliver some content using web standards in an application that isn't necessarily a browser. So Servo provides an independent implementation of web standards, and those include like the classic 2D web standards that you would think of for a web browser, such as HTML or CSS, but also includes more recent web standards that are designed for graphical or immersive applications, such as the WebGL or WebXR standard for immersive AR and VR experiences. And Servo is designed to be embedded into other applications, and we've had some experience with doing that to embed web content into Unity experiences, in particular web video, and using Servo to stream graphical web content into a GStreamer pipeline. So, for example, streaming WebXR content into 360 video. And Servo's been ported over to a number of different environments, such as the Windows, Mac OS, or Linux operating systems, and also onto embedded devices such as the HoloLens headset. So Servo's got quite a large developer community, there's over 1,000 external contributors. And originally, Servo was founded by Mozilla as the sister project to the Rust programming language. And for a long time, Servo was the other big Rust program. So there was the Rust compiler itself, but then there was Servo being used in an experiment to see whether Rust could be used to implement web technologies. And this experiment was successful, and many of the technologies which were developed inside Servo have now found their way into Firefox. So the CSS engine and the graphics subsystem that Firefox uses originally were developed inside Servo. And in 2020, Servo moved from being developed under Mozilla to being a Linux Foundation project. So here are some examples of Servo in action. There's a web page, in this case the Wikipedia entry for Servo itself being rendered by Servo, and also some WebXR examples. So for instance, that there is the living room of one of my colleagues on the Servo project, viewed through a Microsoft HoloLens headset, manipulating geometric objects that came from WebXR. And we've also got some WebGL content that's being streamed across the network using the Servo GStreamer plugin. So if you're interested in the Servo project, then head over to servo.org for more details, or go directly to our GitHub repository, which is where all the development takes place. That's at servo/servo. If you want to get in touch with us, then we have a developer Zulip chat, or you can shoot us an email at info@servo.org. Now that we're part of the Linux Foundation, we have a couple of governing bodies. There's the Technical Steering Committee that looks after the roadmap and technical direction of the project, and the Governing Board that deals with budget and community issues. and we're always on the lookout for more board members. So I hope I've sparked your interest in the Servo project, and thank you for your attention.